Tarkir Dragonstorm might just be the most important set that we've gotten in Magic the Gathering since Lord of the Rings. And I'm including Bloomborough in that. That set was adorable and did a lot of good for the game overall, but it didn't change the conversation the way that I'm seeing Tarkir Dragonstorm do. This isn't just another standard set. This is a really big vote with your wallet moment for the entire community, and I think they are. Looking at the sales of Aether Drift and the prices of those cards now versus the sales of Tarkir and the prices of those cards already, I can tell that we were ready for something big like this. It's kind of interesting to me that the set is called Dragonstorm because it itself seems like a moment of calm in the whirlwind of chaos going on around it with universes beyond and hat sets and hat set based discussion. It's nice that we have such a serene, wonderful set that has the word storm in the name. Lord of the Rings proved that universes beyond and crossovers could work. Bloomborough proved that Magic's original worlds still have heart, can be designed in a way that has a ton of heart. But Tarkir is proving that original feeling Magic can still dominate the meta, dominate the conversation, and dominate the collector market all at once. Joel R. Magic is brought to you by Card Conduit, the best place to sell your cards quickly and easily on the internet. TCG players, the best place to buy them. Have stores compete for your purchase through one online marketplace. Dragon Shield, the best way to protect your cardboard. And Moxfield, the best way to put your deck lists on the internet. Tarkir Dragonstorm is loud as a set. It's powerful. Players across all formats are agreeing that Tarkir Dragonstorm is one of the most powerful standard legal sets in years, whether it's the return of these bomb mythics or it's the absurd value engines or competitive staples that are moving into Commander and Modern and older formats already. The tone is clear. Did y'all mean to go this hard? This was intentional? Okay. Power level in the set has to start by talking about Ugin, Eye of the Storms. This is an insane card, y'all. This card absolutely took the entire community by storm. As soon as it was released, we've got insane abilities, passives that are exiling things as soon as cards are being cast. You're adding mana, you're drawing cards, you're gaining life. -11 rightfully should just win you the game. Maybe you get to steal your opponent's car. But having a mythic Planeswalker is cool for a couple of reasons. Planeswalkers lately have been pretty lackluster. It's been a good while since we've gotten a Planeswalker that anybody really cares about at all. So I'm actually a big fan of Ugin, Eye of the Storms. I don't know if it's going to get banned in some formats. Most likely it reads kind of crazy, and 7 mana is a lot, but colorless is 0 restriction at all on casting. So that's pretty over the top if you ask me. But another over the top Planeswalker is Elspeth Stormslayer. You've got a passive token doubler on a Planeswalker. These effects in redundancy are so valuable over time. This card is just going to go up. Every single mode here is fantastic. You can see even the -3 is a destruction spell that you can use immediately. Elspeth Stormslayer just does so much, and I feel like it's a commander staple right out of the gate, and it's very likely going to be a standard deck. I don't know about formats past that, but the card is insane. Mox Jasper has been incredibly polarizing, but it's undeniable. It's a 0 mana rock. If I say it's not playable early, people start yelling at me about changelings, which I understand that changelings are also dragons. Thank you for that. But the thing is that we need time. Mox Amber out of the gate got like 0 attention. If anything, everybody was just like, oh cool, an unplayable Mox finally. That's the same, it's almost like I'm seeing the same exact cycle happen with Mox Jasper. I'm not sure long term if a Mox that's tied to a creature type is going to pop off in the same way that a Mox tied to legendary status of creatures would, especially since one of the main formats, the biggest Magic format, has to do with legendary creatures. But I do think that players are going to explore it over time, and it's an auto inclusion on the fine wine list because the aging of that, when we get 1 mana dragons, when we one day get a 0 mana dragon that's got some alternative cost because of the mechanic of that set, where you can play it for free, but you have to sack it at the end of the turn or something, but that unlocks Mox Jasper. And that's me. I'm not a designer. I'm a dumb boy. I just sit here and talk about my opinions of Magic the Gathering on the internet. If I can come up with that, that's in the plans somewhere. Mox Jasper, I don't think, is the kind of card that will be irrelevant forever. If it's irrelevant now, fine. If we can't find a home for it right now, fine. But it remaining irrelevant forever would be very shocking to me. Great, old formats and Commander. Cool, Joel, you got some powerful cards there. Yeah, how about Craterhoof Behemoth in Standard? This set has got it all for every format you can imagine. Craterhoof Behemoth being a standard card right after Llanowar Elves was printed into Foundations. So you've got one of the best green mana dorks of all time. The best green mana dork, I guess, of all time. Now that I'm thinking about it, how do you outclass a Llanowar Elves to add green mana? You've got Craterhoof Behemoth and Llanowar Elves in the same standard format for somewhere between 17 years and 26 years. And so this power level across all formats is just insane. We've even got Voice of Victory, which I don't know if you've been looking at the best-selling cards from this set right now in pre-order, but holy moly, this card is selling up there with Ugins and Elspeths and Craterhoofs. People want this card just as much. There are cards across the entire set, new stuff, old stuff. It's got power for everyone. So is this power creep? Absolutely. But is it bad power creep, or are we getting another big step forward of power creep from years of kind of being flat and some filler stuff? Like, what cards from Duskmourn made us talk like this? What cards from Thunder Junction got us this excited? And those are sets that I liked. Those are sets that provided good cards, I promise. But this one, I don't know if it's recency bias or something else that we can discover together, but this one's got us. It's got that feeling. It's different. Tell me what you think about the power creep. Is this the kind of busted that is giving you fatigue, or is this the kind of busted that's exciting you? Because I feel like the MH3 busted that we got from that is almost expected, but a little fatiguing. But I think maybe Tarkir's got a good balance of it. Tell me what you think. Regardless, Tarkir feels like magic again. I think that's going to be the most common thing you hear across all coverage of this set forever. There isn't a single hat. We aren't inundated with puns. We've got references like Skirmish Rhino without it beating us over the head. Cool little in-references that indoctrinated Magic players are going to 100% get, and get excited to explain to newer players. Go and show them where those references came from or what it's a reference to. Having that sort of thing in here instead of, you know, holy cow. And look, I'm not a holy cow hater, okay? It just, too many of those kinds of sets in a row definitely fatigued the community. They've admitted it. They know it firsthand. Mark Rosewater said in his blog, we get it. Too many hat sets. That's too much. Too much jokiness. We're going to take it a little bit more seriously. But the thing is that we know the machine takes years to turn. They are a year ahead, 2 years ahead, I think, most of the time, with decisions that can't be changed anymore. Like, you got to think 2, maybe 3 years out and beyond for decisions that they can still make huge course corrections on in this time. So right now, it feels like we're coming out of this period where everything was very like jokey and in references, and look, it's cowboys, look, it's detectives, look, it's cars. I'm hoping that Aether Drift was the last of that. Basically, this year we've got to look forward to Edge of Eternities, which, man, am I jazzed about now. I was already excited about it because it's a sci-fi set and I'm a sci-fi boy, but having that be the follow-up to Tarkir, hopefully they learned some things when they were making Tarkir back years ago, and that could have been applied to Edge of Eternities. Maybe some of the like early testing, market testing, future league stuff had them already sort of backing away from detectives and cowboys and cars, but we'll see. I know that we've got that one other set really to look forward to of base Magic IP, and make sure you're subscribed because I'm going to be covering the absolute crap out of that one. But we've got Universes Beyond past that, and those kind of have to be compared to Lord of the Rings and Fallout and the things that have come before it so that we can really judge how those are landing. However, it feels like Tarkir was something that players were starved for. Everyone's trying to put their finger on exactly what it is, including me with this video, but something has nearly every Magic the Gathering player I've talked to about this set has got them jazzed up and really, really excited to get on the back of a dragon and fly onto the battlefield. Magic feels like it's remembering what made it compelling in the first place. Worlds that we want to visit and live in, not just licenses that we recognize from other things. Tarkir feels like there's more of an emotional investment in the set, maybe even the story overall. It is akin to Bloomborough, though I feel like what Bloomborough did for the community opening it up wise, it didn't necessarily provide for the most indoctrinated, and I feel like Tarkir is doing all of what Bloomborough accomplished while still opening the door to the more indoctrinated. And so it's kind of hitting the full plethora of every type of Magic player there is, while also inviting new players in because of it sort of being that core experience that Magic's always been about. Spell casting, dragons, people with swords and weapons, riding giant cats. I don't know if that one is as old school Magic, but you know, everybody gets a little treat. And let's talk about the precons. These have gotten people excited. Overall, the card quality of these is fantastic. The cohesiveness of these right out of the box is fantastic, and there's 5 of them. There are options. I think I am in love with the idea of having 5 precons, one more than a full pod. That makes it so dynamic to choose the one you want and not have a ton of crossover with your buddies. That is the kind of thing that matters to some people, doesn't matter to other people. I know personally in our play group, a lot of times if somebody's like, oh yeah, I'm building that Sultai Arisen, I'm definitely getting the Cotus deck going, people are probably going to avoid Cotus for at least a year. Or if they're going to build it because, like Deadpool, you know, everybody just got the Deadpool secret lair. And so if you're building Deadpool right now, you're trying to like differentiate it from the pack, right? It's an understood, if it's like a one-off thing, everybody can build it. That's just my play group though. But with these, there's much less crossover. Both commanders from all 5 of the precons completely playable. Even though with the Abzan secondary, I think there was a mix-up of the main version of BTOR in the main set and the version of BTOR in the precon. The version of BTOR in the precon is not on theme, and there's like 5 or 6 cards in there, somewhere up to 10 cards in there that you can just yank out immediately because they all have to do with that as like an inclusion to lean toward that strategy. But anyway, for all the others, every commander, both commander choices are playable right out of the box, and the deck is very, very playable out of the box. In fact, the only real negative that I've heard about this at all is like, oh, Sultai Graveyards. Cool. That's new. You know, Jeskai Spellslinger. Oh, wow. Out of the box on that one. Cool. It's a Mardu deck that has to do with tokens attacking? What? You released one of these basically last year? What? Under the Fallout IP? It was basically the exact same deck? What? That's really the only negative I can think of, and that's not too bad of a negative because, quite honestly, the big complaint is everything's Universes Beyond. Joel, I hate Universes Beyond. And I'm like, Ricky, relax. You can get basically the exact same deck, but it's all Magic IP, baby boy, and you can enjoy it. Take it, Ricky. Go play Zergo. You can do it. You don't have to bitch about Universes Beyond all the time. Rah! That was somebody angry about Universes Beyond. Personally, I'm really in love with the entire set of precons. I've got all 5, and I think what's going to happen is I'll probably build one, take one, and upgrade it and make it a, 3+, nearly 4 kind of precon upgrade there. But the others, y'all, the cards in here are just like pretty standard good commander cards. They are just staple filled, it feels like. And so if you just got all these precons, say I'm not necessarily interested in building these particularly, but open them all up and you've got like a sick commander deck builders kit ready to go for any precons that come out for the next like year or two. You can always go back to that pile of cards and say, oh, let me get this fantastic removal spell, this ramp spell, this mana rock. You're going to have that fantastic foundation of commander staples if you just make a full commander kit out of these. And so my question for you is, what do you think of these precons? You can look at them like I'm looking at them, a commander builder's kit. There's just a ton of great cards through them. Or there's like one where you were like, yes, I finally got a precon that I'm in love with. Even though these didn't, go crazy off the beaten path with their strategy, do you think that they are still fantastic? Or do you think that that's sort of dulls the hype on them a little bit. And we got some frames that were polarizing. The all black clan treatment. Some people really in love with this, think it's eye-catchy and head-turny. Some people not a fan. The dragon sleeve, the dragon frame. Justine Jones' original dragon frame. Some people all in on this. That's me personally. I love this frame. I think it's so sick looking. Definitely head turning, immediately recognizable. Fantastic tie to the theme of the plane. Just a home run across the board. Love it so much. Me personally, but I know that there are people that think it looks over designed and way too messy. But I think that I've only seen positivity about sort of the general cohesion of the entire look of the set. I think that that's important. I think that that's something that haters of sets like Murders, sets like Outlaws, that is what they don't like, is that, the set feels like it's all over the place. I just want a cohesive set that feels like I'm on a Magic plane, and this really, really does. You are very aware of what clan the card you're looking at comes from. They lean into one of my favorite things that happens across different planes of Magic, which is creature types get reimagined visually for that plane. Look at the goblins of this set. The goblins of Tarkir don't look anything like the goblins anywhere else, and I love it. This is one of my favorite things, that a goblin can look different from plane to plane, or vampires, or really even I've seen different zombies in different planes. I think that that's very important, and something that Magic players don't even know that they're used to or look for in sets, and can really ground them further into it, is, oh, I feel like we're visiting a completely different, unique, fresh place, and the art cohesion overall really lends to that with this set. I think it's also nice when a set looks like it plays. This set looks epic. Have y'all seen this ghost fire treatment as well? Just frames across the board that look epic as all hell. And it's nice when you've got an epic, elevated, elegant set on epic, elevated, elegant cards. That's a home run. That's fantastic. Now, the collector booster boxes of this, those are going nuts right now. I actually think we're a little bit in problematic territory, potentially. I feel like we overcorrected. We were in a place where the collectability of the game had really been slammed into the dirt. Overprinting, way too many serialized cards, treatments that people really didn't care about, sets that they weren't landing for them. But when you get all of those mixtures into your soup and you produce a delicious course like Dragonstorm, then you're going to have hype for it, especially when you've got a serialized in there that's got the word Mox on it, irrelevant of the card, completely irrelevant what the card is. It says the word Mox on it, and it's a serialized card. You've got chase cards in there that aren't just serialized. Pulling stuff like this feels awesome again. Like I said, epic, elegant, so cool looking, and people are wanting them. They're desirable treatments on very powerful cards. I feel like that's all anybody ever wants, and this set is delivering. But what that plus the sort of like secret layer mentality is doing, because we've been absolutely beat over the head with secret layers so far, and it doesn't really show any signs of stopping at all. I feel like it's only going to either stay this or get more. One-off Marvel layers out of nowhere, one-off Commander deck layers next week out of nowhere as I'm shooting this. It's crazy, but it's creating this like frothing FOMO for everybody. And when you get everything that I've talked about with Tarkir, you look at the current landscape of collectability with Magic, you can see why these collector boosters are just getting racked and stacked. It especially leading in to Final Fantasy next. I'm seeing people tweet about, oh, I've already got 200 Final Fantasy collector boxes locked in. I want more. If you have any, please let me know. It's like, wow, I want to be that rich. Numero uno. Numero dos. There's a fervor. There's an absolute fervor right now, and it needs to be course corrected, I think, a little bit back the other way. Y'all know I'm a big proponent of a healthy collectible side of this game. I think it's good for everybody, and high tide raises all ships. However, there's a line, and I feel like maybe just a little bit of tweaking, a little bit more printing of the collector boosters. I don't know. Time will tell on that, and we'll see exactly where that price ends up. Does it go crazy into Fallout levels? Does it go insane into Lord of the Rings levels? I don't think so, but we'll watch it and we'll see, because it's definitely a part of the story of this set. So do you think that all of this market excitement on that side is justified, or whether this is a healthy level of hype? Do you think that this compares to the hype levels that Magic used to generate? And I feel like even used to generate, we can only go as far back as like Throne of Eldraine when collector boosters started to see where the hype hit the hardest, because it's hard to think back further than the booster fun era and really remember this amount of like hype and fervor and prices. Let me know if you've got a good anecdote on that. I'd love to remember that with you and cover it a little bit. But right now, the wave of FOMO is kind of insane. Overall, with Tarkir, I feel like the community at large is breathing a sigh of relief. Even if you're excited about the Universes Beyond stuff, I think that you can look at this, speaking for myself, basically, I can look at this and go, yeah, this is what I think, prefer it was 100% of the time. I know the way business is going, and I look at things like Lego, and I look at things like Fortnite, and I understand why you would want to drive that direction. And I'm going to benefit from it. I love Marvel. I love Final Fantasy. I'm very excited about those Universes Beyond crossovers specifically, and I'm also excited to see what they're going to do with Avatar. I want to go back and watch that show. That's also another interesting part of the Universes Beyond, is that it kind of gets you backdoored into an IP. I knew nothing about Fallout, had never played that series, and didn't watch the show. After I played with the cards a bunch, I went and checked out that show, and that show was dope. And that was probably the intention, right? That was what they wanted to do. But with Tarkir, I can look at it and go, okay, this feels right. This feels right. Even as a Universes Beyond lover, this is what we want. Even compared to other Magic IP sets, Duskmourn felt close, Thunder Junction felt close, Murders at Karlov Manor. I'm hoping that Tarkir Dragonstorm is a turning point for the magic of it all. I'm hoping that the people in the highest seats, and I'm talking above WotC, Wizards, you killed it with this set. Please keep killing it with sets like this. I'm looking forward to Edge of Eternities. I'm talking about your bosses. I'm talking about the people over you. Please look at this. Please look at the community response for this. It doesn't all have to be crossover IPs, and I'm saying that to you as a Universes Beyond defender and lover. It can be like this more. It can be like this more.